So good morning folks, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thanks very much for popping in and joining me. Right, as many of you will be probably aware, a few weeks ago now I did a review on the previous GPS device that I had on this bike, and that was the Garmin Montana 700i, and I had a few problems with it, and subsequently I returned it back to the company that I bought it from. And I'll put a link to that video up above, and perhaps you might want to watch that if that's something of interest, and maybe you were considering buying one. But anyway, I needed a replacement sat-nav for the Husqvarna, and looking online on YouTube, there were quite a few people in the same situation as myself, looking for a suitable GPS device, and they opted for the Garmin XT. Garmin Zumo XT. So I thought, in for a penny, in for a pound. I did a bit of research, it looked alright, got some relatively good reviews. Quite, in some places there were some negative aspects to it, but on the whole it had some favourable reviews and responses, etc., from people who'd bought it. So I thought, yep, see if I can buy one somewhere, see what sort of prices they are. Now, in regards to prices, like anything, if you shop around, sometimes you can get a bargain. And if you have the patience and you wait till the very end of this video, for certain people there is a discount that you can use and get about £90 off the already reduced price of this unit, and like I said, I'll put those details at the end of the video if you're kind enough to watch it to that point. But going back to the initial bit, I looked online. Amazon, they tend to sell it at about £3.49, £3.50 give or take, next day delivery if you're on Amazon Prime, so that's pretty good. And occasionally Halfords as well, they have an offer on matching, I think almost identical, if not within a pound or two of what Amazon are selling it at. However, at the time of filming this, I think, unless I'm mistaken, Halfords have increased the price and it's back up to about £4.30, £4.40 give or take. So there are cheaper places to buy it. So yeah, anyway, so basically the ballpark figure is you're looking at, or you can certainly get these units for a pretty consistent price, for about £3.50ish give or take. But as I said, like everywhere, there are always occasions when you'll end up paying over the odds of them, so shop around. So the XT, I've had it a few weeks now, and I've used it quite extensively and tried it out. So this isn't a full review because there are still some aspects to the device that I'm discovering, but on the whole I've got to say I'm very impressed with it. And from the basic screen that you've got here, which is let me just go back to there, sorry, from the basic screen that you've got here, which most sat navs have, you've got the city navigator mapping. Click your back arrow, click on where to. And what I like about this is if you put an address in, enter your postcode. So this is a particular place that I like to visit, GL194RE. See how quick this is. There you go, it's found it. It's a place down in Tewkesbury in Gloucestershire in the Cotswolds that I visit quite frequently. That is how quick it is. Now, I'm not exaggerating when I say that with the Montana unit that I had, it was an absolute ball ache using postcodes. It was right pain in the backside. So this is already leaps and bounds above that in that respect. But where to, you've got your normal thing. You can program in your home address as a quick definitive get me home, explore, areas that you've been, tracks that you've created, routes that you've created, activities that you've been on, anything that you might have collected, etc. That's all in there. Address, as I've already said, you can put a postcode in, you can put a town name in, you can change the countries. Favourites, again, usual thing. Locations that you've put in there. History brings all that up, as the other sat navs do. Categories, so this is quite good. Motorcycle locations. So Craig's Honda, first one, because that's the closest one to where I currently am. Alan Jeffries, BMW dealership. Paget's Honda. Craig Motorcycles at Dewsbury, one at Castleford, and then it just lists them all. So you want one, bang, click on it, go, and it is as quick as that. Yeah. So I'll just come out of that, stop that, be quiet. What else have we got? So that was categories, wasn't it? So petrol stations, this is a good feature as well. So no, sorry, not that one. So that gives you a list of petrol stations and where they are in relation to your current position, but I'll come on to that in a minute. Let me just find it. So yeah, petrol stations, attractions, amusement parks, event centres, historic landmarks, usual bits and bats, restaurants, and then it splits it down into browse by style, different types of cuisine, and lodgings. You've got all lodgings, bed and breakfast, caravans, camping sites, hotels, motels. What else have we got? Roadside services, so your motorway services and such forth, they're all down there. And recreation, amusement parks, etc. So come out of that, and TripAdvisor. So then you've got certain things that have been featured on TripAdvisor, things to do in your local area, restaurants and hotels. That's something I haven't seen on the sat-nav before. iOverlander, so you can select a camping location, establish camping sites, gives you a list of where they all are there. Or informal campsites, not quite sure what the difference is there, although it does say Howarth Upper Levels car park. I don't think I want to park in camp in a car park. And then wild camping, so you've got things like Lay-by, Brimham Rocks, various other places, Malham, Downback Canal. Yeah, some bizarre places, but it's there if you wanted to do that. Come out of that, Foursquare. I'm not quite sure what that is at the moment, still trying to establish what that is. Junctions, so you can navigate to a junction as you can with virtually all sat navs. You can put in GPS coordinates if that's your thing. Fuel prices, this is the one I was looking for. So I like this feature. So the device, I've got it linked up to my phone, and so it's just connected via either Bluetooth or Wi-Fi or whatever it is. So the Zumo XT is getting data from your phone, and it will display, as it says here, 2 days ago, 1 day ago, 1 day ago, etc., the current prices of unleaded fuel. So you can basically, if you need a bit of fuel, have a look and just see, right, which is the cheapest. Oh, we've got there £1.50 down at New Line at Bradford, £1.50 a litre, as opposed to £1.60, or if it's extremely expensive, like £1.68 there, it goes up in red. So you can just basically select what you want and navigate there, so that's quite good. Personalise, so you can personalise it, but however that is, or whatever you're supposed to do with that. So is that everything there? You've got categories, iOverlander, motorcycle, locations, which I've already gone through. So you've got that. Tracks, I haven't started it recording any tracks, but you can basically obviously click on start before you commence a journey, and then you can backtrack on a track, or share that track, all sorts of things you can do with it. So that's an interesting feature. I think the Montana did have something along those lines. Music, you can link it up to your phone if that's your thing, if you've got a Sena headset or Cardo headset, that type of thing. Apps, so you've got the owner's manual for the device on there, and InReach. So again, if you've got a InReach GPS device, which Garmin do, I don't know whether other brands do them, but certainly the Montana had an inbuilt InReach system, but this is for an additional one that you could perhaps attach to your body, which is a better idea, I think. You can connect it up there. It is a subscription service, but it is beneficial, especially if you're doing things like Trans-Euro trails or any sort of really out in the wilds type of touring. Bird's Eye Direct, so this is good as well. So again, because it's the Zumo XT is connected to your phone, you can literally well, I'd have to connect it via Wi-Fi, it's not connected at the moment, but basically, yeah, you can download an area, either the area that you're in, as a bird's eye view, so you can see an aerial aspect of where you are, and you can identify sort of green lane trails and that type of thing, and just ensure that you're on the right tracks. Stores them to device, or it stores them to an additional memory card if you've got one installed, and then when you're done dusted with it, you can just delete it and free up space on your device. Trip planner, just like everything else. Save trips, you can put them in there, or you can create a new trip and just add multiple destinations, and then you can even then, once you've created a trip, optimize that route if you've got multiple waypoints, so that it will prioritize them in order of proximity to where you currently are. So that's a good feature. Power switch. The Garmin power switch device allows you to control lights, fans, refrigerators and more. Not something I'll be using, never heard of that before. Smart notifications, not quite sure what that is, whether that's something that you get from your phone or from the device for updates, I'm not quite sure. Fuel settings, you can basically advise the XT what the range of your tank is, and then the device will advise you, basically notify you when you're getting low on fuel, that type of thing. You can set how many miles to the tank you'll get, so like there I've put 150 in. I get a lot more than that, but that's just a ballpark figure, like a safety margin that I have when I like to start looking for fuel. Remaining fuel warning, so you can do that, and that's that. What else have we got there? Phone. Again, like I said earlier, if you've got like a headset connected to your helmet, then you can connect all that up and it will accept calls. Service history, so yeah, this is good. So every time you do any maintenance on your bike, you can basically just click on it, add a record, put the mileage in of your bike, and then store it, and then you've just got a record there of when it might need doing again in the future. Brake pads, brake fluid, air filter cleaners. You can delete categories, add categories, and then restore them back to the default settings as and when you need to. What else have we got? Check tyre pressures. I always try to check my tyre pressures every time I go out on the bike. Yeah, so multiple things there. Now, weather radar. This is brilliant, this is. So, just see, it does take a while to download. And maybe I should have done this before, but I'll just explain briefly what this function is. So this is like what you see on the weather reports on TV, where if you're in a particular area, it will literally just show up in various colour bands, and it'll indicate to you whether you're heading into poor weather conditions or whether you're currently in poor weather conditions. And if you've got no particular destination in mind, but you just want to go somewhere where it's sunny, then again you can go for this weather radar, have a look, and then just head in that general direction and deviate your route as appropriate, and find somewhere that's really sunny. Different colour codes, like I said there, mixture of weather. Snow is obviously in blue. So yeah, that's something I haven't used, but again, the Montana that I'm aware of didn't have that, or if it did, I never saw it. Where I've been, again, just usual bits and bats, where it'll log all that. You can clear your travel history. That's that. Wireless camera, you can connect it up, because I think you can get, yeah, is it a Verb camera or something? I don't know, some sort of Garmin camera. And a photo live, touch to add, so you can share screenshots, I think, of what's on. What do I do there? Ah, well, maybe I'll have to come back to that. I'm not too sure about that just yet. As I said, I'm still learning about this. What else have we got? Service history, photo live, that's that. Volume, you can alter your volume. I don't really need it on because I've no headset. Turn that off. I'm not quite sure what the difference is between muting that and turning that off. Spoken traffic alerts, don't need that on. And then settings, updates, it'll just do them. You can either plug the device into a computer and do your updates through Garmin Explore, is it, or something of that nature, or you can just do them over the internet via Wi-Fi when you're back at home. Map and vehicle, driving map view, map detail, etc. So you can alter it to 3D, which is what I've got it on. Map detail, I've got it on more. And all sorts of things you can do. Driver assistance, traffic, wireless networks, Bluetooth and wireless networks, that's set up. Display, alter the orientation of your display from portrait, landscape or auto. I've just got it by default set on landscape because I'm not intending to mount this device in any other way. Brightness 100%. I'll just turn it down a bit because sometimes I think you get a bit of glare on it. Display timeout, never. And what else have we got? Screenshots, so you can take screenshots, you can set up your units like kilometers an hour, miles an hour, etc. as you can on most of the things. Time format, I have it set on 24 hours, I prefer that. All sorts of things. And what else have we got? I think that is it. Yeah, map, it seems to be a really nice screen, pretty clear. It does get a bit more glare than the Montana, I have to admit that, but certainly in normal riding conditions here in the UK I can't see any problem with it whatsoever. So my impressions are of it, although this is only a very quick review because like I said I've only had it a few weeks, even though I have used it a few times. I am very, very impressed with it, and I think it's leaps and bounds for motorcycle use or vehicle use, leaps and bounds above the Montana 700i in so many respects. If there were any negative aspects to this device, it certainly doesn't feel as robust as the Montana 700i, and I think that's an honest appraisal, and the fact that it doesn't feel that robust or as robust, because it isn't as robust, let's be honest, at the end of the day. But that is reflected again in the price of this device compared to the Montana. And the other thing is the mounting system of this in its cradle. It's solid as a rock, it feels solid, but when you're snapping it into position, initially I think it's just a fear factor, is it going to fall out? Whereas with the Montana, when it was in its Garmin cradle, it's screwed in, it's locked in, and you know it ain't going to come out anywhere unless somebody rags it out. So there we go, folks. Price wise, so the Montana, which I had since April this year until whenever it was, 4-6 weeks ago or something of that nature, I paid £839 for that. That included the cradle, which was a lot of money. I'm not disputing that, but it was a good unit in some respects, but it just didn't suit my purposes, and I wasn't very happy with the fact that it kept cutting out and you couldn't do postcode searches on it. Garmin were quite negative when I approached them, so it wasn't for me. I can't do with a sat-nav that's going to cause me more grief than anything else. This device, as I said earlier, normal price is 350 quid. However, the incentive, the little incentive I dangled in front of you to keep watching this video till the end, is that if you are either a serving police officer or paramedic, member of the fire service, armed forces, any of that nature, anything of that nature, you can register with Blue Light organisation, and for a mere £5 you will be issued with a membership and a card, and you can then use that Blue Light card to order directly from Garmin through the Blue Light organisation, and you will get this device, the Garmin Zumo XT, including its mount and, well, a motorcycle mount and also a car mount, all the relevant cables, connecting cables for your battery, everything, for a staggering price of £262, and I think that's a saving of just under 90 quid, so you can't go wrong there in my opinion. And that's it. So Yeah, that's only available, as I said, to people who are either current or retired. I don't know if I said that earlier, current or retired members of armed forces, emergency services, that type of thing. I'm a retired Bobby, so I use that. Somebody told me about this discount, and I joined up. It took a few weeks to get everything through, but if you're not in a rush and you fancy saving yourself a lot of money, then why not do it? So that is my honest and initial review, short-term review of the Garmin Zumo XT. So far, touch wood, he says as he touches his head, I'm very impressed with it, and I think it's money well spent. So thanks very much for watching this video, folks. I'm sorry if the screen's been a bit dazzly. There is a bit of light coming in, so hopefully you've been able to see what I've been doing on the device and the functions that it offers. If you've liked this review, if you think it's helped you in any way, I would appreciate it if you could give us a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so, leave a comment down below. I will answer any questions that are left for me, as I always do. I thank you very much for watching. Take care, everybody, and I'll see you all in the next video. Ta-da for now.